What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mustache Man and Muscle with Jules. In today's video, I wanted to talk about 90 days of being locked in and calorie counting, along with counting your macros, so your fats, your carbs, and your proteins, and what it did for me, and what I know it'll do for everybody. I started this cut back in February, specific day, February 2nd, and I weighed in at about 202 pounds, and today I'm sitting at about 185. That includes a little bit of my body recomposition as well. There's a few days I had to go a little bit higher in calories, but that's okay. Sometimes you need the sustenance to be able to push through the gym. So when I started, I had the feeling that I was eating a lot more than what I thought, and I was correct. That's why the weight was not coming off like I wanted it to. And when I say weight, what I mean is fat. Trying to maintain as much muscle as possible while burning as much fat as possible. We're not just talking about watching the scale go down. That's not what I'm here to push. I'm here to push keeping as much muscle on your body while cutting as much fat as you can without doing a crash diet or keto or just carnivore, which I've tried a couple of those before, but not for me. So I ended up getting a food scale on Amazon. And from right off the bat, the first week, I started weighing everything and I noticed, like, wow, the difference in actually knowing what you're putting into your body is a complete game changer. You will not know exactly how much food you need to eat to burn fat until you do this. I don't care what anybody says. The minute you get a food scale and you dial it in to what you're supposed to be eating, it is going to completely change the way you look at food in general. And that's a good thing because in the long run, you're going to have to change your identity as as a person, and they have to align to your goal, because if not, then you're just going to be stuck. So I changed up most of my carbs the last couple months because I got tired of just eating rice. So I started adding more vegetables and I started adding more potatoes, specifically red potatoes. I like to make, like hot fries in the air fryer. That was a complete game changer. But I like to maintain around 1800 to 2200 calories. That's usually the sweet spot for me. The upper end of 2200 seems like it's pretty good, especially for my weight and what I'm trying to achieve. But I don't think I would have achieved this if I would have kept eating a lot of fast food and drinking a lot of alcohol. That definitely defeats the purpose, because usually when people drink, they tend to eat like crap afterwards. So I just said, well, if I have a few every now and then, that's okay, but I'm not going to be drinking once a week, every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, even once a month. I haven't even been doing that. So you definitely have to be locked in with what your goals are and what you want to achieve. Because if you're not, you're going to do that stupid yo yo dieting. And I did that for probably 3 or 4 years. I would fluctuate up to like as much as 210 and then drop as low as like around 190. Then I would go back up to 200, come down to 195, go back up to 205. I did this for probably, yeah, like well, I would say maybe 3 or 4 years. And around 190 is where my body likes to fight me when I'm trying to actually lose more weight. And I would say my body set point is like around 200. So once I fluctuate up to 200, I can maintain pretty well from there. But that's not my goal. That doesn't align with my goal. I want to be lean between 10 and 15% body fat. So I'm probably going to get to about 12% body fat to start and then cut down from there. Realistically, that's probably going to be me cutting down to maybe 175, 180 lean. So that's obviously a lot more than what I thought coming from around 202. I really thought, okay, I can go to about 185 and I should be okay. No, that's not the case. I'm here to tell you you're going to have to go lower than what you think unless you just have a massive amount of muscle, which is obviously good. You're not going to have to cut as much weight to be more defined and see your abs. But I'm just telling you what I have to do to get to where I want to be. So obviously, I got to get down to 15% first. And last year, I did an in body scan and I was 28% body fat. I have to go do another one here soon, an in body scan or a DEXA scan. And I'm thinking I'm just under 20% body fat. So to get to 15%, obviously, if I'm thinking I'm around 19, maybe even 18. So yeah, 3 to 4 more% to get to 15. It is gonna take a lot more work, but time is gonna go by anyway, so you might as well put in the work. Might as well get after it. Set your goal and just do it. You're gonna look back and say, "Wow, time went by, and I'm glad I did that." Better than waking up and not having it. So let's talk about the 90 days and the calories. I won't say it's okay to have a mess up day because a lot of people will take that as an okay. On the weekends, I can just eat whatever I want to eat and everything's going to be okay. No, that's not going to happen either. You're going to have to probably be dialed in every day. And I would say if you need a refeed day, maybe every 3 to 4 weeks. And that's if you're super dialed in, if you already lost a bunch of fat, then you can do a refeed day. But if you're still above 20% body fat, yeah, that's not gonna work. You don't need one. You have enough to where you can be dialed in on your calories and still lose fat. Anyways, long story short, I just wanted to say that it changed my life counting calories and counting my macros, my proteins, my fats, my carbs. I'll add one more thing about that too. I try to maintain like around 160 to 180 grams of protein a day, and the fats, as long as I'm under about 90 grams, and the carbohydrates can fluctuate. I'm pretty dialed in from there. I'll be able to lose fat. Everybody's body's different, but you're gonna have to find the sweet spot for yourself and go from there. Because it is gonna be a lifestyle change. This isn't gonna just be a quick 2 week cut. Like no, it's gonna have to be a lifestyle change. But you will inspire other people when you do it. People are gonna start noticing and they're gonna start asking you what you've done, and then you tell them obviously like, oh hey, I really just started tracking everything I eat, and I have a food scale. I started weighing everything out, and that was the biggest game changer. And I think obviously anybody that's natural, I think that's going to be the biggest thing you're going to start to realize is that tracking your calories and your macros is going to be seen to give you the biggest results than anything else. Even consistent lifting without eating healthy, it's not going to do much. You may build some muscle, but you're not going to get as ripped or as lean as you want to. And what's the point of doing all this if we're not going to get ripped and lean? I don't see the point in just being strong and fat. I'm not here to do that. Not anymore. Not after I realized what I have to do and started to take accountability for what I eat. Anyways, just wanted to go on a quick rant about that. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.